trying.
Yeah.
Kasi most people don't even start trying.
If you're doing it for yourself, sometimes talagang tatamarin ka.
It forces you to get out of your comfort zone.
May tawag dyan guys yung butterfly effect.
Yun.
Yung accumulation ng small things na sa tingin mo, walang kwenta for now. But in the end, it'll have a great impact.
If you can't make it simple, you don't know what you're doing. It's so much easier to learn new skills than actually being consistent doing it. If you don't agree, you probably don't have a heart.
Comfort is the enemy of growth. Like, if you're comfortable with where you are right now, you'll be stuck there.
I can choose to play Dota for 3 months if I want to. You never get the next step if you don't know yourself. So kasama ko today is si Steve. Okay ka naman.
Yo!
Steve ay estudyante ng UP Los Baños, which actually galing din ako doon. And right now, tell them what you do.
Ayun, I do graphic design and video editing. Ayun. So, mostly creatives.
Dito kasi medyo all around tayo lahat. So, alam mo na. Ngayon ang purpose ko, Steve, kaya we wanna make this episode of this podcast is marami akong kakilala. They're new to this. Most people talaga hindi nila naintindihan kung yung ginagawa natin. And I think having it on a point of view or perspective ng like you na you're new to this, you're sort of learning, you're training, I think it's very valuable na people will hear and understand as someone who's new and someone who's wanna learn this, ano yung experience mo, ano yung pwede na matutunan sa'yo. And of course, I wanna share my own experiences as well. And hopefully this will be valuable for anyone who would want to be in the creative entrepreneurship or even work in businesses that is in creatives. Video editing, graphic design, website design, malawak siya. And since we're an agency, then it's something that a lot of people, especially small businesses, hindi pa nila na-realize yung how much value or benefit they will get if they learn this. So ikaw ba, so far, ano yung mga, I'd say, as someone who's new here, what's your biggest learning so far?
Before coming into this industry, yun nga, student ako. I'm taking BS Chemistry sa UPLB. So, as in hard science talaga. So, ang mundo ko dati is about elements, reactions.
Malaking transition pala sa'yo ito.
Sobra, bro. As in, so I'm used to memorizing formulas, memorizing reactions, yung mga steps. I was a part of an organization, so I handle little background din sa mga publication material since I was a director for external affairs.
Do you do this digitally din o nagpiprint pa ba kayo?
Ay, hindi naman kami nagpiprint. So, we just post yung mga pubmats namin sa Facebook and Instagram and other social media platforms. And sa pagdating sa mga editing skills, it's very, very minimal. Like PowerPoint editings lang, mga ganon.
Canva? Nagka-Canva na kayo?
Yan, nagka-Canva naman na. And then, when I went into this, sobrang na-mind blown ako dun sa mga possibilities. The possibilities are truly endless kapag dito ka pumasok sa industry na to. And so far, to answer your question, what is the biggest learning?
Say if you have to choose 3 top learning so far, in your so far limited experience, what can you say if you're someone new, what's your things you surprised at, you things you sort of ganito pala yun.
Yeah.
Ganito pala yun moment.
So what I learned so far, ito para siyang realization.
Okay.
Na in this industry, you definitely should be, someone na loves learning.
Okay.
Kasi it's actually a continuous learning talaga process na hindi siya yung stagnant na repetitive work na ito na lang ito yung gagawin mo, ganun. There's always something new. Something new dun sa trend, something new dun sa kung ano yung hinihingi ng client, something new sa mga brandings, something new sa style and sa magiging skill mo as you grow. Ayun, kaya it's a continuous journey of learning and being the best that you can be pagdating dito sa creatives.
Speaking of learning, Steve, sa ngayon, I'm gonna tell you na, I'm sure you've heard this, na this is just the tip of the iceberg. You're just sort of scratching the surface. Mahaba-habang journey pa to. Pero yun nga, if you think about this as a lifelong learning, I think that creates the right perspective. some people think na, okay, I learned to a certain point tapos okay na ako, magaling na ako. Like, one major mistake like I did as well is kind of becoming a jack of all trades. It's always a challenge for a lot of people na bago. Parang, okay, mag-video editing ako, mag-graphic design ako, writing ako. Can you tell us more about your experience around that and how do you think that helps you na ang dami? And, it has its perks, it has its disadvantages, but how do you feel about that, being sort of becoming a jack of all trades?
I think nung una, talagang na-excite ako kasi nga, ang daming gagawin, ang dami kong matututunan na bago, na pwede kong ma-apply sa maraming bagay. Pero as I was, journeying with it, medyo nakaka-overwhelm siya.
Yan.
Lalong-lalo na talaga sa umpisa, like,
#overwhelm.
Talagang, share ko lang yung unang pinagawa sa akin or pinatry sa akin is yung voice over ng mga lessons. Ang background ko lang for that is, nagtry ako ng radio broadcasting like way before, nung high school pa. So, when I tried that, parang, what? Parang, ito ba yung gusto ko? Ito ba yung tatahakin kong landas? Pero, the beauty of it is you get to experience many more other things and you try to discover your niche, kumbaga.
I think that's the keyword, trying.
Yeah.
Kasi most people don't even start trying.
Yeah.
So, if you're new, let's say ikaw, focus natin yung video editing. We're trying all of it. Premiere, CapCut, DaVinci Resolve. The reality is they have similarities. Pero in your perspective as new to all of this, how does the trying and the overwhelming part, sort of, how do you navigate through that? Okay, I know now that it's a long journey. Where do I start? How do I lessen that overwhelming feeling?
Alam nyo, I think the best answer for that is seek for guidance.
Boom.
Yun yung sa tingin ko, yung hindi accessible siguro sa mga corporate world masyado. Since meron kayong barriers na parang, senior level, ako, entry level lang. So parang, sa part ko, mahihiya akong mag-consult, mahihiya akong magtanong. Pero in this environment that I have, si Kuya Lester, lagi ko lang siyang natatanong, Kuya Lester, paano ba mag-cut?
Tagal ng battery ng camera.
Paano ng transcript? Paano mag-generate ng transcript? Paano tong ganyan? So, in fairness, kudos to Kuya Les, he always responds. And he responds with joy. Kasi iba din yung parang nagre-respond ka lang out of duty.
So you just have to do it.
See, Kuya Lester, he's happy teaching yung mga people how to do it.
I think that's the type of culture that we wanted to create. Kasi I've said it to everyone I've worked with na I'm happy to teach kasi I want you to teach this as well. It's not really just about the creative, it's not really just the technical. Most of the things that I teach you can find it on Google or on YouTube. But the reality is, not everyone knows where to start or what to look for. You're right, guidance is something hindi lang ako yung gusto kong gawin siya. I'm hoping more people would have that mentality na share. Yes, having more information is sort of an advantage, but in most cases, you can find this online. Pero one thing I have learned recently, Steve, learning and teaching other people, it's not really just about the technical skills. It's really about creating a real relationship of, okay, I'm learning and then we're exchanging value. And I think as early as now, that's something I want you to practice right away. Of course, you can't give what you don't have, diba?
Yeah.
How can you teach someone if you don't have the skill yet? But having that mindset na eventually I'll share this to someone else, that I think is super powerful. You'll learn it way quicker than you'd realize.
Yeah.
Aralin mo to kasi ituturo mo to. Diba? It creates, hindi naman siya pressure. It creates that accountability na, dapat alam ko to. Paano ko siya share kung hindi ko alam, diba? Banking on what you said about mentoring, that's exactly the type of mentality I'm trying to convey. Kaya ko siya ginagawa. And aside from that, if you know how to do them, then we all help each other out how to do stuff. Pero we all know that it'll take a while. So, start with lifelong learning.
Yeah.
Second, you try it. And third, you seek mentorship and working with others. Good. Learning so far. Of course, not all rainbows and butterflies, di ba?
Yeah.
What are the main challenges? There's no way there's no challenges. That's just the reality of life. So what, for you, 1-2 main challenges that you're encountering?
Okay, so first main challenge is you have to learn to adapt talaga. Kasi nga, di ba, since jack of all trades nga, biglang, today, ganito yung gagawin mo. The next day, ito na ang gagawin mo. Or, not even the next day, mamaya, iba na gagawin mo. Nawawala yung parang focus mo in doing a certain thing. So, parang yung mastery mo, hindi siya yung parang
Lumiliko-liko.
Ito, nag-upgrade, biglang ito na naman mag-upgrade, biglang ito na naman ulit. Parang ganun. So parang yun yung one challenge for me as someone na parang gusto ko kasing mag-focus lagi sa isa.
So I think glad you brought that up kasi there's this reality na most of the things that we're doing is not really like within, I wouldn't say it's not entirely not within our control, but a lot of it is mostly influenced by what the client needs.
Yeah.
First one. So they direct what we have to focus on. The next one is like what the industry needs. It might not be specific to a client, but eventually like ako personally, I think this is a good example nung sinasabi mo. Like ako personally, I hate CapCut. I hate Canva. As someone who's Adobe person, but because the landscape of the industry is like there's things that CapCut do way better than Premiere, and I should adapt to it. The reality is we're not really like a advertising agency na like you have to have like fully produced sort of videos, and I had to adapt to okay, pwede palang mag-shoot ng iPhone. That's kind of adjustment. Parang sometimes you have to like give up your creative pride sort of.
Yeah.
And isa pa, not really creative pride, yung unlearn. Like things that we already know we think is working, that will change every time. And that yun yung sinasabi mo na it keeps changing. Yung direction ng learning ko is paliko-liko. That's exactly what adapting really means. So great job. At least you realize that, and the earlier you realize that, the earlier you can like do something about that.
Yeah.
And we will do something about that for sure.
Yeah. I think na-mention na rin ni Quiz yung pangalawang, kumbaga, parang challenge. Yung first one is learning curve na paiba-iba. And then yung second is, you have to break your own references.
Mabigat yan. Actually, mahirap sa mga creatives yan. So,
yeah. Kunwari ako, actually, before ako mag-video edit, ang editing software ko ay iMovie, yung free editing software ng Mac. Yun yung preference ko. Pero yung mga needs namin, yung mga needs ng clients, and yung mga projects namin, it has to be done somewhere else. Because, those things provide better features, better capacities. Kaya, as a creative, na-break talaga yung mga preferences ko pagdating sa mga tools and softwares and everything.
Yes, we talk about learning a lot, being a jack of all trades. But the reality is, there's another school of practice na you have to be a specialist.
Yeah.
And how do you get both worlds? Actually, that's a major challenge for a lot of new creatives. Kasi what a lot of you guys probably don't realize, if you get into creatives, you're not really just a creator. You'll be a businessman.
Yeah.
Kasi what do you do that for? For a client. Unless you have your own business, you have a salesperson, you have a marketing team, then you can just focus on being the creative person. But the reality, in most cases, you'll be working like multiple things. If you're a creative, a freelancer or whatever, then you'll be your own accountant, you'll be your business development, you'll be your own salesperson, you'll be your own janitor. I mean, you set this all up, diba? You have to know all of it, like operating your camera, operating yung ating computer, diba? Like sometimes the driver isn't working, you have to do something about it. Like it's turning off, it's blue screen, you have to do something about it. Are you an IT? Not right now, but eventually you have to. You see the dynamics. It forces you to get out of your comfort zone. Regardless if you want it or not, being here pushes you to your comfort zone. Diba? You set up an office.
Yeah.
See? Going back to the idea of yung pinag-usapan natin about being a generalist and being a specialist at the same time, there's actually a sweet spot around it. In this industry, we call it T-shaped. In my case, T-shaped marketer. But you could also be a T-shaped creative, T-shaped entrepreneur. What that means is you know a lot of different things, high level in different areas of the whole field. A little bit of sales, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of customer service, a little bit of accounting. But you gotta have a specialty. Now it's T-shaped. This specialty, that's where you get deep. That's where you get known. So in my case, in our agency's case, we're HubSpot. HubSpot is also a lot of things, but it's a specialty.
Yeah.
You see that dynamics now. Yes, and I'm not forcing you to learn a lot of things, but it's sort of a requirement to learn a lot of different things. But eventually, at some point in time, you gotta make a decision. Wait, ano yung specialty ko? How can I now create my T-shaped expertise? I mean, that doesn't have to happen like overnight. That's why it's called a journey. But the sooner you get there, usually the better.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm completely like decided, okay, HubSpot na lang talaga. It could change, but you gotta have sort of an identity of what your T-shape is. So far, with the short amount of time that you've had, at least give me 3 na you think you wanna try and explore ano itong mga specialties na to.
As in yung gusto ko talaga.
Preferably,
Idol kasi ito eh. Kaya gusto ko talaga yung HubSpot.
Okay.
So, actually, blessing in disguise.
Yung like you didn't expect na, you don't know the industry, di ba?
Yeah. I didn't know the industry. I didn't know HubSpot before I came here. Nobody knows HubSpot amongst my peers and my family. So, dito ko lang talaga siya narinig. And once na I knew about it, sobrang na-intrigue ako on how powerful it is, on how you can use it for growing your business. Na-excite ako maging parang katulad nga ni Kuya Lester, HubSpot specialist. And siguro pangalawa is yung what I'm doing right now is yung creative, specifically yung video editing. So far, sa aking short amount of time here, I've already learned CapCut, DaVinci, and right now, I'm learning Adobe. So, parang uma-upgrade eh, no?
yung DaVinci, like, never ko pa nahawakan. So, pero, yun nga, it's all about the mentality of how you approach this. Kasi, given na you're technically in a different industry in your school, you're supposed to be, I don't know, a scientist ba?
Laboratory.
It's not like we're removing that out of the picture, diba? What I think we should learn from this is that, especially this industry, it isn't really like just for fine arts or multimedia or marketing. I've known people in engineering, nursing, because the reality is, most of these things, if you have the attributes ng continuous learner, most of the information, the technical information at least, is on the internet. It's hard to find all of it, like where to start and how to like navigate through it. Shameless plug, we actually have a course for these kind of things for HubSpot. Pero bottom line is, search the intraweb, whatever you want to call it, and find people and communities that can help you navigate through this. That's the right mentality, regardless of your starting point. Add ko lang dun sa part ng sinabi mo about HubSpot. Most people, obviously, don't know what it is. It's really just software. It's a website. You can check it at hubspot.com. Kahit ako, like, I didn't know, like, there's an industry like that, like automating digital sales and marketing and customer service. Being a learner myself, I try and find a way na, like, how can I get into the industry that I wanted, but to lessen the competition? It's a blessing in disguise. The only thing I'm looking at really is, like, how can I make my job easier? Like, that's really what it is, na parang, manual task to, I copy and paste to. Is there a way to make this, like, automated? If someone filled out the form, automatically send an email. I don't know. So, I found that tool. I actually tried different tools, and the curiosity, that what leads you to knowing, okay, ito pala is an industry. And now, I created sort of a niche na medyo unique kasi think about it. Like, the Philippines is the hub for BPOs, for outsourcing.
Yeah.
It used to be just phone calls. Phone calls, like, we know, call centers, diba? And then, nag-expand na yan, marketing, accounting, engineering, lahat na almost industry, they outsource to the Philippines. And one thing I realized, okay, we can also do that for marketing automation, for CRM. Hence, that's what we do. Now, in connection to what you do as someone who, like, how do you connect all of this? Bakit ang dami? It's very simple. HubSpot is dealt a lot with digital marketing. And in digital marketing, you gotta have a lot of contents.
Yeah.
I mean, it's videos. That's why we are doing videos. You now get the connection. Kasi a lot of people will get confused. Oh, so akala ko ba creatives? Bakit marketing automation na ngayon? Bakit CRM? So there's this concept called integrated marketing communications. You hear a lot of marketers talk about our business people. It's called IMC. What's your IMC? So lahat ng ginagawa natin, email, social media, website, ads, contents, YouTube, videos, they're all interconnected, and that creates a sort of a journey for potential customers. Bottom line nito is for customers. Basically, what you're learning, Steve, and for everyone who might be listening to this, are all connected to a bigger picture, which is called integrated marketing communications. All of this creates that big, complex integration of a lot of different, not just websites, but tools, processes, people. Bottom line, the whole goal is bringing customers for companies. Now, obviously, that's not easy to do, diba?
Yeah.
We know that. And us being a HubSpot team, we try and make it easier and simpler for organizations. My whole deal is, if you can't make it simple, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And hopefully, through your journey, you're navigating, like learning this, you keep that in your head, like every time, like, okay, I'm editing this video for customer. I'm doing this content. I'm learning this because this has value to potential customers. We want to make it simple. Everything you'll be doing moving forward should have some sort of value for potential customers. Now, sometimes you have to think about value for the boss then. If you're working for a company, value for yourself, because you learn something. But the bottom line always revolves around value for your customers. Yung learnings mo, like, okay, I have to learn a lot of different tools, which is what's better for the customer. Yung paiba-iba, because we keep learning new stuff because it creates value for customers. All goes back to value for your potential and existing customers. So, ayun, ikaw, questions?
Siguro yung key to being consistent or maintaining this attitude.
Ayun, wala. Yan, medyo Miss Universe question yung ganyan eh. The reality is, this does just apply to the creative industry and the digital. It's a combination of drive and higher purpose. Not trying to be religious or spiritual, no? Pero totoo siya eh. Like, I recently attended a content creation masterclass. Ako personally, ganun yung mindset ko na, okay, I'll go there, I'll learn the technical stuff, I'll learn how these famous and popular influencers do it, di ba? They're very consistent. Like, can they pump up so much videos and content like every day consistently? Because that's the common denominator eh, consistency. Yeah. And it's so hard to be consistent. It's so much easier to learn new skills than actually being consistent doing it. So I go there thinking na, okay, I'll get the behind the scene. If you're not familiar, si Real Talk Tarbs, si Chinkitan, Master Hans Kua. And then I met another influencer na I didn't know her before. Hi, si Ate Doc. She probably have like around 3 million followers across her social media.
Shout out.
So I want to know how do they do it? Don Soriano, I don't, if you're watching. So, but a lot of other influencers na, they're very consistent. After no, parang during the actual event, wala namang masyadong kaiba sa ginagawa nila. Like, it's the same thing I knew way back. Like, shoot a video, edit a video, create a topic, create a script. I think I'm doing that. I'm not getting the traction that I think I should be getting. Now, there's another layer to it na I didn't realize. Actually, probably 40% of the whole session, like, it almost feels like a retreat. The whole experience is almost spiritual. Shout out to Coach Rust, transformational coach, facilitating that whole experience. Pero everyone felt that. Parang, okay, like, is this content creation? Are we doing videos here? Are we trying to be influencer here? So that was the question. Like, it's about finding your inner drive. Tawag nila is inner game. So I think, ako personally, that's what's missing the whole time. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be sitting here shooting this video if not for that. Kasi I've lost it eh. Like, parang, basta, I gave up. The last time I shot a video was like start of 2023. And then before that was like way back. That drive and motivation and believing that there's sort of a higher power, whatever religion you believe in, that really helped. I think that moved me na parang, what? This is driving me. This is pushing me to do better. And siguro knowing that it will have not really just financial and impact to your business, but the actual purpose na, yeah, that's true. Yung ating messages that we're getting from thousands of people. Like, I didn't think I'm a big influencer, but seeing people actually reaching out and seeking your advice and asking you questions, ask for help, not really monetary help, I think it's life-changing. Like, being a creative and being out there and being able to promote yourself, of course, you're promoting your business as well, but impacting real people is a good enough reason to be driven and to be consistent. I didn't know I would experience that, but I did. And, I also built a community who's have that same mentality. I think going back to you, as someone who's trying to get to the kind of industry, I know it's HubSpot is very business-driven, but it's also content and influence-driven. I think if you start with that and then pair it with continuous learning and the technical skills, super powerful.
I think I kind of apply it right now since I'm a part of a church na values excellence, not for self-honor, kumbaga. It's like the mentality is doing everything excellently for the glory of someone who's higher than us. So, I totally get what you have shared. Kasi, if you're doing it for yourself, sometimes talagang tatama rin ka eh. If you're doing it for a company,
Mababurnout.
yeah, if you're doing it for someone, lalo na clients, you don't know your clients.
If you do it for money, mababurnout ka.
You'll get tired of that. But for me, if I do it for a higher power, I feel empowered. I feel honored. I feel privileged to even do these things and have these resources and have this mentorship, have these skills, have this opportunity to work with these people and to do these things. Having that mentality to provide the clients the best solutions possible, the best services possible, I think it can change not just your work, but your life entirely.
Ang powerful niya kasi parang you don't have to impose that to people. Pero once they have the feels, ikaw mismo din, like, you just wake up in the morning early. Something I gotta do that's valuable that actually can other people. If you're not driven by that, I don't know what can. The idea na you actually, medyo millennial to like in your generation. Pasok ka pa ba ng millennial? Like millennial, it's like we want a job that creates an impact. I mean, it's very cliche. But if you think about it that way na, okay, may natulungan ako. Like someone actually reach out to me and then save their job or help them get a better career. That's worth it.
Yeah.
Regardless kung you earn something from it. And here's the unusual part. The more you give, it just goes back. The more you get something in return indirectly maybe. But that's just how the world works. Again, it's not to be spiritual or preachy. Pero if you don't agree, I don't know, you probably don't have a heart. Seriously, di ba? And that's what I felt nung, kasi like these things, you can search on the internet and like you watch motivational videos probably, I mean, yes, it has an impact. Pero what I felt is, if you're in a room full of people who want to do the same thing, like-minded, same wavelength, and someone's like playing that emotional music and hearing these words na encouragement and finding yourself, that's exactly what we do in most churches, diba? It's very moving and spiritual, and combining it with tips and education from people who made it, that's the most powerful thing. That combination. Kasi tama naman yun, like, you can't be all motivation. You have to do the work. But how do you do the work? You have to get that internal game going. And if you keep that rolling, that's it. That's what keeps you consistent. And by consistent, I've seen that for everyone that I've met na successful. And the more you connect with these kinds of people, and we're hoping we influence you to be like that too. That's really what it is. May kwento pa itong ginagawa ko, like cutting this video. Does it make any sense? Yes, because you're not wasting someone's time with dead air. May sense ba itong animation na ginagawa ko? Yes, because it entertains people and they help them move to the next stage of the video, which could potentially impact their lives. Imagine mo yun, yung mga small things na gano'n, nagiging parang, ay okay, it adds up to that bigger picture of the whole point of what we're doing here, influencing and helping others.
May tawag dyan, guys, yung butterfly effect.
Yun.
Yung accumulation ng small things na sa tingin mo, walang kwenta for now, but in the end, it'll have a great impact. Maybe not for you, but for other people.
And just kagabi lang yung isang friend ko. So meeting kami. Shout out Mariel and Noriel. So yun, long time friend na kami. So almost 13 years na. So binisita namin sila ng Kabanatuan one time. Galing kami ng La Union. Tapos, nagkukwento lang kami doon. Tapos sabi niya, ay, gusto niyo try yung namin, yung casting na product nila. Yung parang ilalagay mo kamay mo doon sa bucket. tapos magkakaroon siya ng mold. Tapos yun, ay nasa bahay ngayon yun. I'll show a picture of that, yung casted na parang hands namin ng mga kids, the whole family. Take a photo of it, video of it. Tapos, just last night, nagulat kami. Alam mo ilang views na?
Ilan?
12 million views. Like literally, is this for real? Literally real siya. You know, for someone non-celebrity, di ba? Like, I was blown away. Pero, my point there is, you might think it's a very small thing. Like, you know, casual. All of us, like, sobrang casual sa atin taking videos. We're not expecting any, like, virality or anything like that, di ba? Pero, if you keep doing it, one of those videos, one of those reels, one of those shorts might change your life. You just don't know. But, it all goes back to the very beginning. Learn the basics, shooting a video, try. Because if you don't try, you never get this, all of this, none of this. You can't get started. You can't get new learnings. Trying is really the key. That's probably is the title of the video.
Pero nabanggit mo yung kanina yung getting out of your comfort zone. May nakita din ako na parang yung comfort is the enemy of growth. Like, if you're comfortable with where you are right now, you'll be stuck there. Kasi, di ba?
Do you consider na comfortable ka na dun sa course mo? Is it something na... Kasi nung when I first met you, yung sinabi mo like you want to teach.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad thing, pero I still want to teach, obviously. I'm gumagawa ng online courses. Do you still feel that way? Do you still view yourself na that's exactly what I wanted to do? Or this whole thing changed in that direction?
I think not entirely changed, but it opened new possibilities. Like, yun nga, teaching digitally, like, pwede pala yun. So, I can still do what I wanna do and incorporate kung ano yung mga natututunan ko, like, right here.
One final question para we can cover that.
The next question ko for you po is, in this industry that we have right now, how do you balance yung life? As someone who works in that environment, how do you balance life?
I think the right answer for that, this might not be the most popular answer, pero you can't.
You do.
You don't and you can't. Because the reality is, it's a lot of work, pero what this industry and this field give me is flexibility. You have a choice. If there's flexibility, you kind of have the autonomy. Like, think about this. I don't really have to work from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. like I always do. But I chose to. So, parang yung family ko. Well, that's part of the benefit itong industry to. And you guys know this. I can just drive home anytime. My kids can go to my office. Can you do that in a big corporate setting? Can you bring your kid? Probably not. Can you wear this in the corporate setting?
Nah.
Not really, diba? But can you earn more than the corporate setting? So you got some of the best benefits that not a lot of regular employees don't have. I can choose to play Dota for 3 months if I want to, which I did for many years. I'm not doing that now. Pero again, that's not balance, diba?
Yeah,
so we're not trying to balance that here. What we're after is what works for you. If you fall in love with this craft, it'll give you that opportunity to choose if your time will be spent growing your brand, your business, and spending a lot of times with your, not just in just family, with yourself. You can't be just always like helping others. You have to help yourself first. And I think that's really what gave me, parang decided to choose stay in this kind of setup. Like I'm already working in a corporate multinational companies, but I still decided I want to do it on my own for this reason. And digital skills allow you to do that and being creative. Yes, there's a lot of things to do, but if you decided at some point and you've earned enough to say I deserve a break, you can. You can't do that with other fields or other type of jobs. Now I'm not trying to diminish the value of other jobs. It's just answering the question of how do you balance it, because you can't and you won't be able to, but you have that autonomy.
Alright. Last question, I guess. Na-highlight mo na yung mga parang
key benefits.
Yeah, yung key benefits of this. If I'm on a shoe of someone na gustong mag-start or mag-start up sa
Which you are.
sa ganitong industry, what should I do? Where should I go?
Before even touching a camera or a computer or mouse or anything technical, I think the first thing I would answer is, do I know myself? Self-awareness. big block of text, self-awareness. Self-awareness. You never get the next step if you don't know yourself. I know that's, again, philosophical and probably spiritual for some people, but I will stand by it. Kilalanin mo sarili mo. Kasi I've met a lot of people, they tried it, and then eventually, ay, hindi pala para sa akin. I mean, it's not a waste of time. Yes, we talk about all the benefits, but you have to know all the disadvantages as well. Do you want to build a business? Because if you do this, yes, you don't have a choice. You will build a business. If you become a content creator, a creative entrepreneur, you don't have a choice. You do your own marketing, you do your own sales, you do your own accounting. Do you want to do all of that? If you know yourself, you don't want to do that, then this is not for you. So you get that, the self-awareness part.
Yeah.
If you want to have a more stable job, then go to big corporations. That's what self-awareness will do for you. Because this is not for the faint heart.
Yes. Something like that. Something.
So there's a lot of stress and anxiety as well. What if I don't have clients? Diba? The reality is, there will be some point where you lose a lot of clients. If you can't handle that, then this is not for you. To start up, maybe do what you're doing now. Work for someone who's doing it, diba? And learn from it. But I highly encourage, eventually, you should be able to get some form of doing it on the side, doing it on your own. Like your own, maybe, website, your own online store, maybe, your own freelance gig, maybe, your own consulting, whatever route you be going. The best setup is working for someone first and then doing it some form on your own. So you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. When I was training, so before ako parang ma-hire, talagang he was asking me and making sure na gusto mo ba to? Or baka napipilitan ka lang. Sa tingin mo ba na you see yourself in this industry in the future? You'll be doing this in the future? So yun yung mini-make sure talaga ni Kuya Lester. So I think talaga tama yung knowing yourself first, yung knowing your identity, if you can, withstand what's
Dito pa nanakot Pero, and I mean, you've seen it, and being in the industry, I'm kind of old na rin. I can sense if someone it is for them. Kasi I've already seen a lot ng for them. So, comparing it and seeing it in real time gives me a good sense of, okay, medyo in the middle, but we can push na, okay, pwede niyang gawin. Pero bottom line talaga is, it's up to you. Like, I always say that, diba na, figure it out yourself. I guide you, pero it's not me to tell na, ito para sa akin to. Like,
yeah.
So, ayun, thank you. I hope you picked up something valuable on this podcast session with our new studio, by the way. We plan to invite a lot of creative entrepreneurs and other passion course around real estate to talk about these things, how digital and creative impacts their business and how it can help them as well, diba? It's become a passion of mine to teach and educate people about this because I've benefited so much from it, and why not share it, diba? It's not an easy journey, so hoping through these sessions, thank you team for playing along. Kasi I wanted to know genuinely then how are you doing and how you're progressing, and I'm glad to know that we're all doing a good job. Kasi this will be a long journey, probably a never-ending journey. Pero let's get along with the time.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching. So if you have any questions, you can drop your questions sa comment boxes below. And please subscribe this channel and hit that notification bell para maging updated kayo sa mga future videos namin.
Oh, vlogger na vlogger. GG, thank you. That's it.